Hello, hello, and good evening to everybody. Sun is shining outside, and the world couldn't be better apart from Linus Sebastian having big problems and Winfast having huge success. So, what are the similarities? Yeah, we are not having to talk about Gandhi net suspending their free emails on their servers or their free email hosting because we are still busy testing, and it will take quite a while till we have meaningful results which can which will warrant uh, uh, a dedicated video. But I just wanted to give you a heads up that we are still researching, and we have received an email from Gandhi that they are not actually planning to extend the period until the end of November. My latest email from them said, "Dear customer, we will suspend your free emails in 3 weeks." So I'm very interested in how they want to accomplish that, because they gave this assurance that they will at least give us 6 months notice, but we will see how it pans out. So that was the latest. Deadline is in roughly 3 weeks. So what are the similarities between Linux Sebastian and Winfast? So when we came to England and we settled down, we didn't have a TV. So my only source of news was the internet and the radio. Obviously, that was enough when you have a bunch of kids and settling in a new country. Then it was enough to have the Guardian on a Saturday and internet for news. And one of my favorite news channels when it came to IT was obviously Linus, because he did back then he did things which were hugely off the beaten track. So that wasn't the classical gamer test. Always know that we had all he had all different basically he was testing everything which had any connections to IT, and he did it in an entertaining matter. I mean, it wasn't only testing; he was very opinionated. He was kind of uh, one in a kind. And then his channel evolved into more and more successful, and I think by 2015 he somehow moved premises, I can remember, and then it was even bigger. And I stopped watching him because the output was repetitive, and I wasn't interested in buying the latest high-end spec personal computer or the latest high-end spec laptop, because when you have a bunch of children, you are happy when you are able to buy what they actually need. And I was Or yeah, I was not so much interested in Windows hardware anyway, and the tests for off the beaten track hardware and software was minuscule, so there wasn't much going on regarding uh, what what kind of hardware made sense for uh, Linux PC. And then, yeah, I stopped watching it altogether until a few weeks ago when I came, or a few days, no, it was a week ago, I guess, when I came across the video about the, yeah, the more questionable aspects of Linux business. And I was very, how can I put it mildly? I was very astonished about the reactions, and I'm very astonished about the scrutiny which is put on him. And yeah, it really it really amuses me. I mean, Linux is a guy who, to put it, how can I put it? He was a salesperson, and he started making videos because there was basically nobody else there to make them, and he then made his own channel out of it, and all he ever did was making more light-hearted videos about things which you can destroy by putting too much voltage on it, or whatever. And then he started to go into more and more how can I it was he never left his sales pitch in a way. He was always promoting stuff in a way of testing stuff, but it was all about it was basically a huge internet shop with him promoting the latest gadgets. And he isn't a journalist, he is a YouTuber. He is somebody who didn't study for doing what he did. He hasn't earned his merits in in doing journalistic research. He has earned his merits in presenting and fronting a YouTube channel. And that is what he was good at. And unfortunately, he is now head of Visions, and probably that is not what he is very good at. He probably is he has his channel has grown beyond any expectation, and with 25 million subscribers through all of his channels, he is probably one of the biggest YouTubers of all time. And but that still doesn't make him a journalist. He still is a bloody YouTuber, who is fronting a channel, or a conglomerate of channels now. So putting or setting journalistic expectations on somebody like Linus Sebastian is a bit over the top, isn't it? I mean, why would he be a journalist? Why would he suddenly qualify as somebody he never tried to be, or probably he tried to be during the last 2 years, but he wasn't. He never was. So I think he is exactly doing what he always did, and the problem is that his, I don't want to call it greed. I think in the case of Linus, it's just hubris. It's just complete hubris that he he thinks that this kind of success he enjoyed on YouTube will give him a media empire in the end. I think that is a very optimistic view of his future. I don't think he just doesn't qualify for that. And we will see if future proves me wrong, but I don't think he has it in himself. he he was the right person in the right moment. But if it might take a little bit more to build up a media empire. But anyway, so it was a very, very, very funny thing to see how everybody jumped on him and how everybody said what a bad boy he is, and look at this face. I mean, that is really sad to see. But on the other hand, he will survive, and it will all be over within 3 or 4 weeks, and then there will be a dent, and probably that end of his godlike status on YouTube will make him realize that not everybody is cut out for being the head of a media empire when he starts as a guy who fronts a YouTube channel. And why would he want to be anyway? I think he has had such a wonderful career and such an enormous success. So even if your visions of having the biggest computer media empire on the planet fail, Linus, it doesn't matter. You've done well. And the other one which caught my eye today was VinFast has a Wall Street Millennial, and VinFast has a market cap of 86 billion. So the question is, how can it be that a company that produced roughly a few thousand electric cars and roughly a few 100,000 or a few 10,000 combustion cars has a market valuation of $86 billion? How can that happen? And I guess it's the same as with Linux. It's just that people, just because they are successful, think that they can do things in whatever successful in whatever they do. They think they can do everything. And I mean, we all know that being a billionaire alone doesn't qualify you for producing electric cars, and not even if you think you can produce electric cars, rockets, and you can produce the biggest one-stop shop in the whole universe for free speech and paying and entertainment and electric cars and space travel. And no, sometimes it just doesn't work. And this guy who has amassed a $5 billion fortune, uh, he just thinks he is able to build a car manufacturer from scratch, and uh, I don't think it will be possible. I mean, it looks a bit dodgy. And just because they think so, it doesn't mean it will happen. And this is just the exact opposite here, that people, just because they say it happens, are willing to part with their money. I mean, okay, it's a bit of a situation here because it's a very limited market, and that means only a few million shares were available, and that is why the price went up as it did. And that, of course, isn't the case the moment he really actually wants to issue stock, which is then a lot more available, and then obviously the market valuation will come down, as they rightly stated in the Wall Street Millionaire video. But all those early adopters who signed up will probably have a hard time recouping their money. So a YouTuber isn't a journalist, and a billionaire isn't a successful car manufacturer per se. So that is why I am not a successful YouTuber, because I like talking to the void and I know my limitations. And it's just for me having fun and for a few of my friends to poke fun at me. And yeah, that was it for today. And yeah, next week we will show some videos where we have our Citroen Xara Picasso converted. We just finished today. We have converted it in a camper. So the heart of the camper. So we have a working solar charger now in this Xara, and we have a second battery in it, and we will have the fridge and the cooker installed next week, and then we will give you an overview over the most wonderful project we have done over the last 15 years, I guess. Yeah, we bought this car for £300 and scrap value, and invested £2,000 in parts to convert it into a camper van. Well, it was fun. So, okay, see you next week, and until then, have a good weekend.